Hello, Christ is in our midst. I'm Father Kevin Long of St. Elias Antiochian Orthodox Church in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Today is Sunday, April 14th, 2024, and here are the readings for today.
A reading from St. Paul's letter to the Hebrews, chapter 6, verses 13 through 20. Brethren, when God made a promise to Abraham, since he had no one greater by whom to swear, he swore to himself, saying, Surely I will bless you and multiply you. And thus Abraham, having patiently endured, obtained the promise. Men indeed swear by a greater than themselves, and in all their disputes an oath is final for confirmation. So when God desired to show more convincingly to the heirs of the promise the unchangeable character of his purpose, he interposed with an oath, so that through two unchangeable things, in which it is impossible that God should prove false, we who have fled for refuge might have strong encouragement to seize the hope set before us. We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that enters into the inner shrine behind the curtain, where Jesus has gone as a forerunner on our behalf, having become a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 9, verses 17 through 31. Let us be attentive. At that time a man came to Jesus kneeling and saying, Teacher, I brought my son to you, for he has a dumb spirit, and wherever it seizes him, it dashes him down, and he foams and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. And I asked your disciples to cast it out, and they were not able. And he answered them, O faithless generation, how long am I to be with you? How long am I to bear with you? Bring him to me. And they brought the boy to him. And when the spirit saw him, immediately it convulsed the boy, and he fell on the ground and rolled about, foaming at the mouth. And Jesus asked his father, How long has he had this? And he said, From childhood. And it has often cast him into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have pity on us and help us. Jesus said to him, If you can, all things are possible to him who believes. Immediately the father of the child cried out and said, I believe, help my unbelief. And when Jesus saw that a crowd came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, You dumb and deaf spirit, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again. And after crying out and convulsing him terribly, it came out, and the boy was like a corpse, so that most of them said, He is dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he had entered the house, his disciples asked him privately, Why could we not cast it out? And he said to them, This kind cannot be driven out by anything but prayer and fasting. They went on from there and passed through Galilee, and he would not have anyone know it, for he was teaching his disciples, saying to them, The Son of Man will be delivered into the hands of men, and they will kill him. And when he is killed, after 3 days, he will rise. Glory to thee, our God, glory to thee.
So today in the Orthodox Church, we remember St. John Climacus. The appropriate translation for that is John of the Ladder. And why we call him that is because of his telling of the account of the ladder of divine ascent. So, what is that all about? The ladder of divine ascent is a collection of excellences, of virtues that would be important to collect, to take on, to embody, so that we may be in a position to ascend. I'm intentionally leaving this a bit mystical because I think there's a bit of a misconception about what that really means. St. John is not talking about the steps that are involved to make a person perfect. It's not about making a person pure or holy, ethical. That's not what this is about. It's not about becoming a great moral person in this great society and great time. The ladder of divine ascent has as its mission and its goal unity with God. To become one with God means that we have to put behind us a lot of things that would keep us tied down. The icon that is written of these steps show monks and holy people trying to climb the ladder and being swarmed by swarms and hosts of demons. Some have bows and arrows and are shooting at the holy ones, and then when they are shot, they fall off the ladder and land on the sand below. Others are being pulled by belts or even by prayer ropes. What an interesting image that is. But the reason why they are being pulled down is because somehow in the course of their trying to ascend, they become distracted. They fall off of the path. They don't learn the virtues that they're supposed to learn. They don't acquire the spirituality that is necessary in order to have that opportunity of theosis. It says in the Beatitudes in St. Matthew, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." St. Gregory Palamas and others before him talk about the three-step process of getting intimate with God, becoming united with God. The first, catharsis, the elimination or the purification of the body, the elimination of sin. The second, illumination, learning the methodologies, the spiritualities, the knowledge of God that is necessary to be able to be prepared sufficiently to behold God. And then finally, theosis, which is indeed the process of uniting with God, becoming one with God, yes, even intimate with God. And that is the key. It's the key of the ladder of divine ascent in all of its different rungs. It's the key of St. Mary's pursuit. We'll talk about her next week, St. Mary of Egypt, and her pursuit of perfection through her mortification of her flesh. We see it in St. Gregory Palamas, whose chief occupation, almost his sole goal, was theosis, to become united with God. Lent itself is intended for us to learn how to become more holy, to learn how to get rid of the things that hold us back, that pin us down, and instead the things that bring us to light and life and revelation and glory and truth and beauty. When we're able to acquire the things of the Spirit, then the things of the world begin to fall away, and their importance begins to diminish. And as we ascend to the ladder, the world gets further and further away, and its pull becomes less and less. And we become able to pray with a clear heart without distraction. We begin to develop a sense of apatheia, not of ignoring the world, not of caring not about the world, but rather not letting the world turn us into worrywarts, into people that are obsessed with the bad things that are going on in the world, and saying it is hopeless. It is one of the highest rungs that one would climb on this ladder, and it is one that is absolutely essential for us to get closer to the kingdom of heaven. We have to learn to not let the things of this world cause us to be distracted from what really is important. So, this is the message that St. John teaches to us through different rungs, different practices that we can indeed acquire and should acquire if we wish to see Christ face to face. Have a blessed day. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.